Beatz Media presents the Scoop and Score Football Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back here to the Scoop and Score Football Show, brought to you by Ball N Beatz Media. You know, Spencer, not a lot of drama really at all in football, specifically in college football at all, honestly. There's been absolutely no news, no big news at all. And in fact, this one team down south is actually, they had a great week one. Massive win on the road, right? Massive win against obviously what was the preseason number one team in the country, according to some folks here on this show, which was maybe one of the best wins of the season, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. How's your weekend?
Weekend went great. Neither of my teams lost. They were both on the bye week. OSU was on a bye and the Lions were on a bye. I just had my defensive end get $45 million, and he's going to be around for 6 more years, including the end of his rookie deal. Those are great.
Yeah. Hey, at least with the Browns, we can get sacks. 5 sacks for Myles Garrett.
One game. It's funny because at that party that we went to, I literally said, "What are you dressed up as, a ghost?" The next day, Myles Garrett had 5 sacks.
That's what you get for talking. That's what you get for talking.
He heard me.
He heard you.
And he still lost by double digits.
Before we really get into what we're going to talk about tonight, there's a lot to talk about. Moral victories, I don't really believe in too much. However, when you're a fan of a team like the Cleveland Browns, you have to take moral victories when you can, okay? Because the Cleveland Browns and moral victories have had way more victories than actual victories, okay? An actual victory is way too hard to come by for the Cleveland Browns organization, so you have to take moral victories when you can. 5 sacks record for the franchise in a single game. Myles Garrett's career record in a single game. He's now back to tying with Brian Burns with 10 sacks to lead the league. There we go. That's what we got to hold our hat on. A guy who got paid $40 million to stay and follow the money. That's my win.
He can't get mad. There's nobody to be mad at but himself. He knew that the situation the Browns were in when he signed that deal, and he knew that they were rebuilding, and he knew that the quarterback situation wasn't great. He knew that the offensive situation wasn't great, but their defense was going to be good again. Their defense is elite. They just don't have a competent offense, and that's what happens. He's going to get frustrated, and the Browns will win a few games. They're not the worst team in the league, but it's something that nobody's going to remember this 5-sack game because he's on the Browns. If he was on the Bills, if he was on the Lions, if he was on the Chiefs, if he was on the Packers, the media would be talking nonstop about this game and about how he had 5 sacks, defensive player of the year, all this stuff. But because he's on the Browns, and because the team is 2-6, right? 2-6?
Yes, 2-6. Exactly where I thought we would be, actually, at the bye week.
Yeah, because they're 2-6, it's not going to get talked about. And the Browns have a gold jacket player on the defensive line. Everything else is just, their defense is pretty solid. Their defense is very good. They don't have any elite players other than Myles Garrett. They have really good players who either injury-prone or are rookies. I love Denzel Ward. He can't stay on the field.
No.
I like the Carson Schwarzenegger pick. I think he's going to be a solid linebacker for you guys. But your safeties, Grant Delpit's pretty solid. But the biggest thing is going to be the offense. Jerry Jeudy's been terrible this year. He drops everything coming to him, and he doesn't make any big plays. Your running game's been solid with Quinshawn, which has been a surprise. Your rookie class has been very good. Harold Fannin Jr. had a touchdown the other day. Your offensive line is getting older, and they're already in the trade block with Wyatt Teller, with Joel Bitonio, guys like that. They're not going to have anybody left. And the move that baffled me about the Browns, and it's something, if the Lions ever did this, I would legitimately be so pissed off. I wouldn't know what I would do. I would just be so mad at my front office. They traded their starting quarterback to a team in the division. I know it's Joe Flacco. That was your best
Yeah.
option, that quarterback. Why are you giving him to the Bengals, your in-state rival, to give them a chance to to make the playoffs and get a fifth-round pick for him or wherever the hell they got?
Yeah.
I would, if the Lions ever traded, Jared Goff is infinitely better than Joe Flacco right now. But if the Lions,
I know a team who could utilize Jared Goff right now. It's the team you're playing on Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings. They could utilize
if
him.
the Lions traded Jared Goff to the Vikings for J.J. McCarthy and a second-round pick and a third-round pick, I would never forgive Brad Holmes, and I would hate this front office way more than I hated Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. All that trust, all that build-up, everything that they've done the past few years, that's been, amazing, that this team has had amazing turnaround from years and years past of just, futility, that all be erased.
Yes.
Because they traded my starting quarterback to an in-division rival. I don't know if Andrew Berry knows he's going to get fired. I feel like I'm getting more mad and I'm not even a Browns fan. But it's the point of where I have a lot of friends who are Browns fans like you, and I want them to see some sort of success that I'm seeing with my team. Because my team has made seeing good front offices and the Detroit Lions in the same sentence is something I never thought I would hear. And I would call you a psychopath 6 years ago, when I was dealing with, Matt Patricia, and I was dealing with Bob Quinn and that horrific front office and the stupid decisions that they made, like trading away Darius Slay for a third-round pick to Philly for nothing, getting rid of Golden Tate. They destroyed what they had with Megatron and the relationship with Megatron. They gave Stafford no weapons. They gave him no help, especially on defense. Ziggy Ansah, I'm not going to get into everything but you get my point. I want to see the Browns do something like that because I have friends who are Browns fans, and the Lions and the Browns are like this. We have been terrible for so long, and we are the only teams to go 0-16 and still the only teams to go 0-16 because the Jets beat the Bengals. It gets to a point, and I was there with you. It's like, man, another Sunday. Here we go. Let's see how they screw it up this time. And I would watch the Lions have a lead in the fourth quarter and then blow it to a Mitch Trubisky Bears in week 1. I would see them win 5 games every year and 6 games every year. And whoop-de-doo, we went 9-7 a few years just to get blown out by Seattle in the playoffs and to get absolutely effed by the Cowboys.
In my
pass interference call, but
in my perfect world, Jim Caldwell's still your coach. In my perfect world, Jim Caldwell is still your coach.
He just was nothing special. He
was nothing special.
They went 9-7. They were never going to be anything with Caldwell. The problem is they got Matt Patricia for him, and my thoughts on Matt Patricia. He is healing me a little bit with, OSU. He's not fat anymore, so I can't call. He's Ozempic Patricia now. But that's a whole nother story. But I just want to see the Browns do something. I want to see them build something. I want to see them get a quarterback right. I want to see them give Myles Garrett something to be happy for, because this man looks like every day he plays for that team, he looks depressed. He's the only one showing fight on that defense. The offense goes out there, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They look like they're clueless.
You would think
and Kevin Stefanski, he looks like he doesn't give a shit. He looks like, Dylan Gabriel's going out there, and Gabriel, he's not playing terrible. He's not playing terrible.
He's also not playing good, which is the problem.
He's not, but he was a 4th, 5th round pick for a reason.
He was a 3rd round pick now. He was picked higher than Dak. Dak Prescott went lower than Dylan Gabriel. Just going to throw that out there. The thing is with Cleveland, right? I mean, we kind of knew. I mean, we knew what this was. We know that what it will be even next year and maybe even in 2027, or hopefully in 2027 it's better. You knew, and everyone knows, that this fix is not an overnight fix. We know that there's a lot of things that's going to change in the next couple seasons. This offensive line is going to be a brand new offensive line in the next couple years. It's old, like you said earlier. We got a really good rookie class that could set that foundation for the future. But with the move for Watson, it made them fully have to rebuild because they missed. They swung and missed. And that means nothing really extra to it. You have a Hall of Fame, a first ballot Hall of Famer on that defensive line.
Yep.
One of the best of this generation, if not the best of this generation. And it's going to go to waste, just like you had at a left tackle. For the most part, unless things can really change really fast, and it won't be this season, but maybe next season or 2027. 2-6 ain't going to cut it, but you kind of signed yourself up for it. And that's where we're at.
Yeah. It's, the Deshaun Watson contract will forever haunt the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
And I remember one of our first episodes in B&B was talking about it. Was talking about this Deshaun Watson trade. And it was a massive swing, and they missed hard. And they hit the ground really hard. But at the end of the day, I think even if you had Deshaun Watson, who looked like a competent Deshaun Watson, I still don't think this team would be very good. They
Probably
don't
not.
have the weapons. They don't have a really good offensive line. They have an okay offensive line that gets, that's injury prone. But your defense was always going to give you a shot. And Jim Schwartz is, you better be careful or he's going to leave.
Oh, he'll leave and he'll be a head coach maybe at somewhere. Again.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't have Jim Schwartz be your head coach. I would not recommend that. Stay as a DC.
He should be a DC. I fully agree he should stay as a DC, but I wouldn't be shocked if someone would want to call him again to be a head coach. That wouldn't shock me at some point.
Yeah,
the thing is, it's funny. You would think with how, honestly, the AFC North is one of the worst divisions in football this season. I didn't think that would ever happen in my life.
Crazy.
But it's true. Look at the defense. You would think with the Browns defense, statistically being the third best defense in the NFL so far this season, that they would be at least better. But we all knew this offense is historically awful. But you would think they would be a little bit better. You would think at least they wouldn't be the worst team in the division with having the third best defense in the league. Guess who's the closest to the Browns with their overall team defense ranking? Just guess. In the AFC North.
In the AFC North?
Yeah.
Probably Pittsburgh?
No, it's not Pittsburgh. In fact, it's Baltimore.
Oh, boy.
And Baltimore's the 28th best defense.
I know all three of them are bad.
Pittsburgh,
I figured
30th.
Pittsburgh was a little better than the Ravens, who are the favorite to win the North, and they're 2-5.
The Ravens are the 28th best defense. Pittsburgh is 30th. And the Bengals are dead last in total defense.
Yeah. It's a rough year for the
And the one with the best defense is the worst team in the division. Make it make sense, folks.
Browns have one of the best defenses in football. They just are out there for 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
They get gassed.
It's rough. Speaking of teams, that can't win a Super Bowl, I want to pivot the conversation. We are now at the halfway point of the NFL season. And I think we're at that point now where we can kind of pinpoint who we think can actually make a Super Bowl, who can't, who can make the playoffs, but probably won't make the Super Bowl, And, well, I'm going to throw my prediction out there. Your preseason prediction's looking pretty decent. Half of my prediction, I think, is still pretty decent. Other half, not so much. Ravens haven't been doing good.
Baltimore's not going to. Even with Lamar coming back, they lost Matabuke. They lost. I don't think they have Van Noy playing out there.
Not right now.
They just have so many, and their defense just is not good. Even with their players healthy,
it is not.
They do not play good. Their offense is pretty good with Lamar, and they had a big win against the Bears with Tyler Huntley. The Bears, by the way. Nice job.
Also, the way Tyler Huntley played in that game, where was this last year when he needed to play? and really the previous year. Like, where was this?
I think he's only going to be. I think he's just only going to play good as a Raven. He's only going to play good in Baltimore.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's the system.
Like some players, they only play good at certain places. I don't know.
Sadly, all those quarterbacks don't play good in Cleveland, with the exception of Joe Flacco and Baker Mayfield.
The other one, yes, the Rams can win the Super Bowl.
The Rams can definitely win the Super Bowl. I think that, honestly, I think that the Rams are, I mean, they're, in my opinion, I know they've lost 2 games. I would personally rank them in the top 5 in the NFL. I think that some other teams have really stepped up. You know, I'm looking back at our early season, preseason predictions. I was not expecting this out of Seattle, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. Their defense really impressed me so far. The Cardinals, I mean, Kyler Murray's been banged up. I kind of give them a little bit of a wash. I was high on the Cardinals, but they haven't been great. But Murray's been in and out, and he's probably not playing again this week.
Something's wrong with Marv, man. Something's wrong. He has way too many up and down games, and it's got me worried that he's just not translating to the NFL. It sucks because he was like the one OSU receiver. I was like for certain he was going to be a superstar, and I thought he was going to be that Larry Fitzgerald in Arizona. He's the second weapon for Kyler Murray, or Jacoby Brissett behind Trey McBride.
Yeah.
And Trey McBride's one of the best tight ends in football. If your tight end should not be your number one weapon, though.
No, he shouldn't. But there's another Ohio State receiver in the Pacific Northwest who has been that guy so far, in Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I could have told you, but then again, we could have told you that after the Rose Bowl against Utah, where he had like over 300 receiving yards. It was one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life, and will probably ever see, because you just don't see that.
You don't. That's a once in a generation kind of performance out of nowhere. I'm trying to remember who it is who has the all-time record in college football in a game. There's a receiver who I know who did reach the 400-yard mark. I forget who it is off the top of my head. Researchers, go look that up.
Probably was like a Big 12 game.
It feels like it.
65 to 6, or like 65 to 62 or something like that. I don't know, but
you think, but for me, I think there's 8 teams that can make the Super Bowl. That's just 8 of them. 4 in each, the AFC and the NFC. And it's crazy because the first team I'm going to talk about is one team both of us completely wrote off in the preseason, which I think everybody did. And they're playing the best football out of anyone right now, and it's the Indianapolis Colts. I fully think this team can legitimately make the Super Bowl. Daniel Jones is balling. It works. Him and Shane Steichen work. It's brought out the best of him. And I think that's a trend now, where guys are on their second or third or even fourth teams, but they find a match and it works for maybe just a couple seasons. Even if it's not long term, it works. Indy's going to have to pay Daniel Jones this offseason. They're going to have to pay him.
He's there for a 2-year deal, I think.
They're going to extend him for more, I feel like.
Probably. With Anthony Richardson.
We know what's going to happen with Anthony Richardson. Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in football, which it took like a 2-year hiatus.
Right now. He is easily my MVP. And he won't win it because it's a quarterback award, but Jonathan Taylor's been absolutely unbelievable. And this Colts offense has been great. This entire Colts team has been great. My one thing is, I don't know if I'm the only one. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
That's fair.
Because Indianapolis is playing way over their heads. And maybe it continues. Maybe this is just who they are. But it's like maybe they got some Irsay magic in them or something like that, because they are 7-1. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to most likely win the AFC South. They finally got a win in Jacksonville, first off. It's been over a decade. But my thing is, it's like, I just have a feeling that they're gonna fall off, but I still think they're gonna make the playoffs. Like, they play the Chiefs in a few weeks. I don't know how. I know they play the Chiefs in a few weeks in Kansas.
Yes, that's gonna be the real.
That's gonna be, if it's a competitive game, and if they are fighting with Kansas City, even if they lose, absolutely. It's something that, like, maybe it's like what I have with the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm waiting for them to fall off a little bit. I don't think they're as great as everyone expects them to be. But maybe they are. Maybe this is just who they are this year. Maybe Daniel Jones was the answer. Maybe this offensive line who, oh my gosh, they are playing phenomenal right now for Jonathan Taylor. This defense is swarming quarterbacks. I just got to see it. I got to see it because I think their best win is the Chargers. I think.
It is. Chargers, you got to remember.
The Chargers are good, but the Chargers aren't great.
The Chargers would be close to great if they had a guy like Rashawn Slater.
Yeah.
I do think the Chargers this year would be borderline close to this list if they were fully healthy. But they're not. They're not. Speaking of that division, there's 2 teams in that division. We're going to start there. I mean, Kansas City. Kansas City has to, and now they're catching stride. Now that Rashee Rice is back, this offense looks not awful, which it had before.
They're never going to die. They're never going to die.
As long as Andy Reid's the head coach and Patrick Mahomes is their quarterback.
Long, probably. I don't think Andy Reid has got that much longer in him, but yes,
I agree.
Honestly, yeah, they're going to be they're going to be up there. They play the Bills this weekend. Chiefs are going to be up there again for the number 1 seed, and they're 5-3. So
yes, I don't know why I feel like the Broncos can do it. I feel like this Broncos team has it in them. Out of anyone else that's like randomly in the division, I know there's a lot to be seen still, but this defense I feel like has improved. Yes, Pat Surtain's going to be out for a couple weeks, but Jahdae Barron, the rookie kid's going to step up in his place. I think this defensive line is very good. I think this offense with Sean Payton and Bo Nix has meshed well a lot. I think Denver has a legit chance. They're like the one outsider
you know
here.
what? I do agree with that. I do think they can make a run. My problem is I would still pick the Chiefs over them. And I mean, they did the Colts. Well, actually, no. The Colts' best win is Denver.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they beat the Broncos on that controversial
with the field goal, with the leverage.
With the leverage. Denver would be lower on my list, but I do think that with the right, if they play the right team at the right time, or if they play at I think they could have a shot. Yeah, why not? But losing Surtain's a lot, and I need to see a lot more from Bo Nix.
Yeah. Last team in the AFC, of course, is the Buffalo Bills. And honestly, I think right now, Buffalo would be the favorite out of the AFC. On paper, I mean, granted, it's Kansas City. Kansas City's Kansas City. But I feel like Buffalo, right now, you would feel like would be the team, right?
I would pick New England over Denver if I had to switch one.
Okay.
New England's playing phenomenal right now. Their defense is playing great. I know they're having an easy schedule. Drake May is playing like an MVP right now. Drake May has absolutely blossomed into the quarterback that New England needs him to be.
I agree with that point.
Their run game is questionable. Travion Henderson did something with Vrabel's wife.
Had to have, right? Had to.
It's ridiculous. They're not giving him the.
He had to have pulled a Bill Belichick.
Andre Stevenson is all right. I mean, he's not great, but he's not a bad back. But Stephon Diggs has looked very good there in the receiving game. Their defense, adding Milton Williams from the Eagles has been a great pickup. Christian Gonzalez is a great corner over there. They got Carlton Davis from the Lions in free agency. They've done a lot of good moves in New England with Vrabel. It's the perfect fit. Vrabel's the perfect fit in New England, and
we all knew it would work.
New England went into Buffalo and beat the Bills.
Yes, that's impressive.
That is one of the toughest places to win a football game. Buffalo never loses at home, just in the playoffs. But in the regular season, no.
Shout out Buffalo, by the way. Your stadium isn't great looking, but the new stadium looks like it's going to be phenomenal.
Shout out Highmark. Yeah.
Highmark, I didn't see a single press box. I could be wrong. I need to look at it again. But in person, when I was there a couple weeks ago, I swear I didn't see a single press box in that stadium. I don't know how that works, but it's what it looked like.
Yeah.
I like your point about the Patriots. My issue, like you said, they haven't necessarily played a strong schedule. Where I feel like Denver has played more tougher opponents. They've gone out there. They've had that experience. They played really well. I still need to see the Patriots play some other tougher opponents. We kind of fell off of them after 2 weeks, and we both said that they'd finish second in the AFC East. I mean, look at the bottom two teams. Yikes! They were obviously going to finish second regardless. But they're really playing some of the best football in the league right now.
Should win. Vrabel should be the favorite for Coach of the Year. 100%. He took a struggling team, and he took Drake May, and it blossomed this team.
I would say either him.
Offensively. Actually, yeah.
I would say Shane Steichen has to be.
Vrabel. It doesn't matter. They've both done amazing jobs.
Another one I throw out there is Mike McDonald. I think Mike McDonald could be a decent one.
I think Seattle needs to win that division if I was going to pick Mike McDonald, because the Seahawks were good last year.
They were good, but
the Colts and the Patriots were bad last year.
That's fair. I'm very impressed personally with Mike McDonald.
We're halfway through the season. We'll see more as it goes.
For me, there's like clear-cut 4 teams in the NFC. Granted, I think there's really like 5 or 6, but I think the top 4, I mean, it's pretty much Eagles, Packers, Lions, and Rams, I think, are pretty much your top 4.
Tampa?
No what?
No Tampa?
Right? I don't know.
I agree with you, the top 4. I agree, all 4 of those teams, 100%.
The thing is, Tampa, right? I was the one who came on this show, and I'm not really backtracking on what I said about them making the NFC title game. I still feel like they could. And honestly, it wouldn't fully surprise me. I just think that
have a lot of injuries, though.
The thing is, I could see the Bucs still doing that and not seeing them make the Super Bowl. These 4 teams I could legitimately see playing in the Super Bowl. I could see the Bucs making it far to the NFC title. I don't know if they make a Super Bowl.
I would argue the top 4. Well, you can throw Kansas City in there. I'd argue the top 4 teams in the NFL are those 4 NFC teams. Philly and Kansas City is kind of a toss-up. I don't think Philly's not really playing amazing right now, but they did have, they beat the Giants pretty handily. Packers and the Lions, and I think, in my opinion, are the clear-cut 1 and 2 teams in the NFL.
I agree with you. I fully agree with you.
Jordan Love played a phenomenal game against the Steelers on Sunday night. I mean, he couldn't miss. Their defense is playing very good. I mean, Micah Parsons is Micah Parsons. And the Lions have they have arguably one of the most talented rosters in all of football.
Yeah,
both sides, offensively and defensively. They're getting guys back. Malcolm Rodriguez is going to be coming off the IR. They're going to get DJ Reed and Terry Arnold back the next week or so. They got Aleem McNeil, who is a Pro Bowl defensive tackle, back in the game against the Bucs last weekend, technically last Monday. To me, it's the Lions and the Packers, and Thanksgiving is going to be just absolutely insane. I can never have a stress-free Thanksgiving game with the Lions, and it's going to be fun. And then the Rams, absolutely. Matthew Stafford, it doesn't matter. He plays like he did when he was 24, 25 with the Lions.
Yeah.
Him and Calvin Johnson. I mean, he plays his lights out. Puka's going to be coming back. Devontae Adams is having a good. Kyron Williams, and their defense is very, very good. I think that the best 4 teams in the NFL are in the NFC. The Chiefs. The Chiefs are. It's close. It's because now with Rashee Rice, they look. I mean, that offense looks crazy. But they did not play amazing against the Commanders, who are very banged up. But at the end of the day, it's a 21-point win. Who cares? And we're in the middle of the season. Top 5 teams are those in the Chiefs.
Right. Yeah. Well, who would you say right now are like you said, basically your top 5, I guess. But in order, like who would be the top 5 for you?
I know Philly beat Kansas City, and I know I just said the top 4 teams in the NFC. I could flip-flop them. You know what? I'm a backtrack. I think that Philly at 5 and Kansas City at 4. I think Kansas City's playing better than Philadelphia right now. the Eagles have the talent. They just don't look right.
They don't.
And the tush push is going to get banned in the offseason because that's a whole
100%.
about this
100%.
false start. And
You just saw the
it's
one with the fumble? You just saw the one with the fumble. That's nuts.
It's absolutely stupid. They've been false starting that since they've started that play, and they've never called it. It's ridiculous. It needs to get out. Number 3 would be the Rams, and then because the Packers beat the Lions, I feel like I have to put the Packers at 1, and I have to put the Lions at 2. It's close, though. Those two are neck and neck, and Thanksgiving will tell a lot. But I'll give the edge to Green Bay because of them beating the Lions in week 1. And then they're like, oh, well, the Eagles beat the Chiefs. I probably should put them at 4 with that philosophy. But I'm not going to because I don't feel like it. You lose to the Giants by a blowout on the road. I'm not going to do that. But then again, the Packers lost to the Browns. So who the hell knows anymore?
Right.
You know what? 1A and 1B. I don't care.
So the Browns are 1B. The Browns are, in reality, the Browns should be 1A because they beat the Packers. So therefore, the Browns are the best team in the NFL by your standards. See, here's the thing, right? If Green Bay just plays Cleveland in Cleveland every single game,
I think that's
we're not even talking about the Packers, honestly, at this rate.
No.
And in fact, the Browns might be the number 1 team in the league at that point.
I'm putting the Packers and the Lions as the 2 best teams in the NFL, and they're going to be on a collision course the entire season. And I hope to see my favorite cheesehead very soon.
I agree with you. I think the Packers and Lions are 1 and 2. I do have the Packers currently as the best team in the NFL. I think the Lions are 2nd. I think you're still disrespecting the Colts a little bit. I would put the Colts at number 3. They are the best team record-wise in the NFL right now, and they show no signs of slowing down. They have to be in the top 5 somewhere. They deserve that recognition. They've earned it at this point with some of the wins they've had. And their only loss against the Rams, a game they were winning most of the time.
They probably should have won that game if it wasn't for Donnie Mitchell, fumbling the ball before.
At number 4, I think I'd put Buffalo at number 4. I'd give the nod to Buffalo over Kansas City and over Philadelphia.
There's a lot of really good teams.
That 4 to 9 range, you could almost interchange, I think.
I'd argue, unless you do something crazy, I'd argue 1 through 9. Like, I could see the Colts being 1. I could see the Lions
That's
being
true.
1. Packers. I could see the Chiefs being 1 because they are one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. I could see people putting the Rams at number 1, because, Stafford looks great. The defense looks great. Philadelphia, they won the Super Bowl. You could put them there. There's a ton of teams now that are great in the NFL. And the best part about it is we get to see a lot of these matchups.
Yes.
We get to see Colts versus Chiefs in a few weeks, the Lions and the Packers, Eagles, Lions, Eagles. There's a lot of really good matchups coming up. Bills and Chiefs is this weekend. There's going to be a ton of fun matchups, and we're going to get to see how it straightens out as the year progresses.
Number 5, I'm throwing in Philadelphia at number 5, only because just the overall sheer talent on that roster. They haven't played that well.
The defensive line their defense has not played that great this year.
It hasn't. They've had flashes. They've had moments.
Fangio is a great DC. That defense just looks off. There's something off about it.
Yes. I don't know what it is. I don't know if, Jordan Davis has played pretty decent. He's had some big moments this season. Jalen Carter, he started the year with one of the weirdest moments to start a season, but he's played fairly decent. I don't know if it's necessarily that. I wonder if the loss of Josh Sweat hurt them a little more than people thought.
Milton Williams, too.
Milton Williams.
Williams was a big part of that interior defensive line.
That's true. I feel like their interior hasn't been too bad, though.
No,
I feel like their pass rush. I feel like the pass rush has been the bigger problem. Yeah, I feel like their pass rush has been what's the bigger problem. from what I've seen.
And they signed Zadarius Smith just for him to retire. So.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, welcome back, Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I don't think that's going to really do much, to be honest. He's very old, and I don't know. If you got to sign the guy who retired, you got an issue on the edge.
It's a massive problem. That's what it is. That's why I feel like their pass rush has been such.
The trade deadline.
They could use a guy like Josh Sweat.
So
they could get a guy like Myles Garrett for 4 first-round picks.
They should, but they won't.
They won't.
They would easily get 3 first-round picks. If not, they'd get 2 and a good young player, but they're not going to do that. I think Trey Hendrickson is one to watch. If the Bengals lose this weekend, Trey Hendrickson possibly. You go to Miami with Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb for like a lower level edge. There's a lot. I
feel like Miami's going to be sellers for sure. If they got a guy like Jalen Phillips, I like that. Not Bradley Chubb.
Jalen Phillips is 26.
I think Jalen Phillips because of the age.
He's not like an elite edge rusher. He's not like an amazing, but he's a solid. He's a solid 2. He's a solid guy next to Aiden Hutchinson. He is.
It's fair. That's fair.
But we'll get Myles Garrett up here.
While we're at it,
I'm putting it in existence.
I think people should take a break. One, to take a sip of some B&B water. That parches you. Quenches the thirst.
Buy it at the B&B store.
Well, at the same time, you guys should subscribe to the channel. Yep. You should subscribe everywhere you possibly can. You should follow us on Spotify, watching and listening to it on Spotify. I know there's a couple of y'all as well there. Some Apple Podcast listeners too. And I know we also have the random Amazon Music listeners. But I know you like to see our beautiful faces here on YouTube and Spotify. You can watch the video there.
Absolutely.
Follow us on the Instagram and the Twitter. It's Twitter. It's not X.
No, yeah.
No, go do that right now.
Really calls it X unless they're like a corporate person or like a business person.
They better not. But hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that push notification bell over here. And hit the like button on this video. And comment down below. Don't know what you should comment down below. But you should comment down below something.
Comment down below your Super Bowl teams.
Comment down below your Super Bowl teams. Hold on. Let's refresh. Comment down below your Super Bowl teams. There we go. All right. Spencer, I know you got a little something for me here since we're still on our NFL topic. You want me to blind rank quarterbacks? I had you do it last week. I have no idea who you got for me this week. Let's go.
Yep. All right. So I got 5 quarterbacks here. Had the same as not the same quarterbacks, but like the same rules as last week. It's a blind rank. So first off, I have Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, I haven't been all too impressed with him this season. I think he benefits a lot from the tush push. Hasn't been great. Also hasn't been awful. I think he's a perfect number 3.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff's the best quarterback right now in the NFL. He's number 1. I'm actually serious. Jared Goff has played some of the best.
Really damn good.
I don't think you're going to name another guy. I would put Jared Goff currently right now at number 1.
Jordan Love.
I feel like I think I'd put. It's tough because I hate leaving 4 and 5 out, but I think Jordan Love's currently playing better than Jalen Hurts. Just like with our rankings with the NFC North, I'm going to put Jordan Love at number 2. I hate doing that, but I'm putting Jordan Love at number 2.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, he's 4. He's got to be 4. But I think he's playing better than Jalen Hurts still.
And then last, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, it's 5. He's 5. That's perfect. Honestly, that's pretty perfect, I think.
Dak at 4?
Dak shouldn't be at 4. He should be at 3 or 2.
You want to know what my 5 is?
Yeah.
Number 5 is Jaden Daniels. Daniels having a sophomore slump. He's having a rough year. Number 4, I have Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts benefits way too much from his team around him.
I agree, yeah.
He knows a lot. Number 3 is Jordan Love. Jordan Love, he just had an insane game. But my one issue with Jordan Love is he's very inconsistent. He
Yes.
will have great throws, and then he'll have bad throws, and he just does not look 100% all the time. That's just who he is. Number 2, I have Jared Goff. Jared Goff is playing phenomenal right now. You also have to put into perspective, Jared Goff has so much around him. It's insane. His offensive line is his interior, the interior guards are kind of new. Mahogany played last year. Tate Ratledge is a rookie, but Glasgow is a veteran center, and you have two really good tackles, one elite tackle, one really good tackle. Number 1, people aren't talking about it enough because I know Dallas isn't playing really well enough. Dak Prescott's playing out of his mind.
Yes.
And this offense is
nasty.
They have a great game against Denver, but they're playing phenomenal, man. Dak is playing, and he doesn't have any. I mean,
he's playing superhero ball, which is what Dak has always done.
Line. And he didn't have CeeDee Lamb for the longest time. His wide receiver one was George Pickens, and he is making a ton out of nothing. This Dallas team is in the hunt, but they don't have a defense at all. It's non-existent, and Dak is gone.
Their defense is awful. It is.
Dak's gone out there and
so
just proven time and time again that he is. I mean, he's still a super elite quarterback. It was really tough between Dak and Goff, and the only reason why I gave the slight edge to Dak is because what Dak is working with. If you want to, because he has absolutely nothing. His offensive line isn't great. His defense, I mean, Jerry Jones essentially went out there and said, we're not even going to try this season because we just trade our best player away on defense. And I think they miss him a lot.
They definitely miss.
And Dak's playing, like you said, superhero ball. I think he's playing phenomenal. I think people need to respect it a little more.
They 100% do. Like, if I had to unblind my rankings, I would still put Goff at 1. I think what Goff is doing...
Yeah, I love Jared Goff.
I think what Goff is doing right now with Detroit is phenomenal. You know what Colin Cowherd said? I don't know if you heard it, but he had said that he's a Hall of Famer. He said Jared Goff is a Hall of Famer. In fact, statistically, in the last 9 years of football, he backed this up by stats. He said Jared Goff is the best quarterback statistically the last 9 years in the NFL.
Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame. They should throw Jared Goff. Jared Goff had, even his worst year. I mean, his worst year in LA wasn't great, but it's not like he had more interceptions than touchdowns.
No.
And in Detroit, it has just been a resurrection of his career. He has been lights out for a few years now. He has been a gunslinger. I mean, he's as accurate a quarterback as they come. He rarely misses throws. Him and the offense are tight-knit. They've been around each other for a while, and they've been in the system for a while. And I know Ben Johnson transitioned to John Morton. John Morton has done a really good job with the offense. But, yeah, it's really close. The only reason why I gave it to Dak is because of what he's doing in Dallas and because of what he has to work with. Jared Goff has everything in Detroit. They've done such a phenomenal job of putting weapons and O-line, defense around him. They have young talent everywhere. The Cowboys are legitimately Dak, CeeDee, and George Pickens.
Javonte Williams running the ball.
Yes, actually, yeah. To be fair, he has had a good year. Javonte Williams has had a good year with Dallas. But with a defense like what Dallas has, they have nothing. They have nothing on defense.
They literally gave away what they had on defense for, no reason at all. Literally no reason besides greed and...
I will forever hate Jerry.
Just for selfish reasons.
I
don't understand.
Parsons in my damn division. Are you kidding me?
The Packers can never lose, right?
No. Sunshine and rainbows all year long in Green Bay. You never have anything bad ever happen to them. Oh, let's just go to 3 straight Hall of Fame quarterbacks because we feel like it. Let's go from Favre to Rodgers to Love. Easy transition, easy everything. It's ridiculous that fan base has had everything given to them. Everything. I hate it. It's stupid.
Shout out our buddy. Shout out our buddy. It happens, man. It happens. Some teams just always get what they want.
Yeah,
You know?
every time. You need this. You need that. Don't worry, you got it. You want Micah Parsons? Sure.
To be fair, they never had a first round wide receiver for the last 23 years, except this past season.
Mary? Sure. You want a second one? Yeah, of course. Why not? They get everything in life, except when they play San Francisco.
Like I said, the only thing they never had was a first round wide receiver until this past year, and they finally got it until now. And Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden's been okay. They still don't have a wide receiver one.
But they have like 7 wide receiver 2s, and that's great.
Tucker Kraft might be their best weapon.
He is their best weapon so far. Him and Romeo Dobbs.
I'm tired of that team.
And then Matthew Golden.
Just have a losing record for once in your life. Like, I know in 2018,
they've had losing records.
They did, but like that was because of injuries.
They've had losing records from time to time.
Yeah,
I think they've had time to time. They've had some 6-10 seasons here and there.
Oh, boo-hoo! I saw my team win 3 games 4 years ago.
Boo-hoo! I've seen my team win 3 games in a span of 2.5 seasons. So, yeah. I mean, you know? Actually, one game...
Luckily, I wasn't a functioning person when the Lions went 0-16. I was 5. So
if only I could have been when the Browns were 0-16.
You got to cheer on your high school alma mater quarterback, at least.
I did. That is true. Fun fact.
Which is kind of cool, but he was terrible.
Fun little nugget of info. The 0-16 Cleveland Browns quarterback went to my high school. Shout out to Sean Kaiser. If that just pinpoints my location. Come find me, FBI. No, I'm just kidding. But I just don't understand, man. Some teams just get it better than others, and that's okay. But
like I said, they get everything handed to them. The referees are always on their side. They get this call, they get that call. You know, I was waiting for them to beat the Browns because I'm like, there's no way this is happening. And then it happened. I said, what?
Right.
But, you know, they come back against the Cardinals. Aaron Rodgers, you know, craps down his leg in the second half. Whatever, man. I'm tired. I am tired of that stupid logo and that stupid fan base from bum F nowhere, Wisconsin. Just fall into the lake already. There's nobody there. Do any of these people have jobs? They're always on away. There's always fans at away games. They're always woo. They got their cheese heads on. They got everything. Like,
you don't think they don't work for the franchise? That's all that's in Green Bay. They probably just work for the Packers.
Right. They're cheese heads. They got nothing. They got nothing but Packers football, and they got gray skies all the time.
Just think of if Lima, Ohio, had a football team.
Yeah.
Or if
Lima Senior was in the NFL.
Or if, shout out our Lima Senior Spartans who might be tuning into this show. Or if a city like, I don't know,
Sandusky,
Ohio. Or maybe another town like
Oak Harbor. Oak Harbor.
I don't know.
Marblehead had a football team.
Or maybe like, let's see, what's another one I can randomly throw out there? Terre Haute, Indiana. If the Indiana State Sycamores, if they were in the NFL,
it's insane the run that they've been on with quarterbacks. It's something that will never be replicated. I saw a stat. It's like 97 or 98% of games in the Packers since '92 have been started by Favre, Rodgers, or Love. And I'm like
the only thing that matches is Steelers and head coaches. That's about it. It's the same thing. Steelers and head coaches. They've had like 3 head coaches.
Yeah.
Since the year like 1970. So
it doesn't make any sense, but it works, and it works for him. And I hate Jerry Jones so much, and I hope that when the Cowboys come to Detroit, they beat the living hell out of that team. For what they brought onto the division, it should be there should be an investigation. I think Jerry Jones was drunk when he was making that deal.
He had to have been. He had to have been.
He had to have way too much Texas whiskey or something, because that was his reasoning behind the deal was stupid. But we've already talked about that, and Green Bay will forever be great. and Green Bay will forever always, not make things easy for the Lions. The Lions won the division the past 2 times, and it's going to be a dogfight again. Had to deal with a 14-3 Vikings team last year. Gonna have to deal with that stupid loss. That's going to be the reason why we lose the division and are the 5 seed some way, somehow. I can already see it now. The Packers are going to be, 12-4-1 or 13-3-1. No, there's the Lions with the same amount of wins, 13 or 12. But they got one more. They got one more loss because the Packers got lucky again that they tied because Jordan Love threw the ball and the ball bounced off a player and went right to the ground with 1 second left. And they kicked the field goal at time. It's stupid. It's stupid. They get every bounce, every single one.
You got every single bounce last week with your weekly picks going 12-0. Not last week, but the previous week. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's just luck. I don't even know what I went last week. I think 500 maybe.
I gained a game. I
go.
had one more win than you.
Week.
Season standings. 50. I'm 55-51. You are 65-41. I have a 10-game deficit right now. I got to catch up on.
What'd you go last week?
I went 8-4. You went 7-5.
7-5. It's not good enough.
It's not good enough. But let's see here. Let's get into our NFL picks since we're at it. First game we have the Kansas City Chiefs going to Orchard Park, New York, Highmark Stadium, taking on the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs are 2-point favorites on the road.
The Bills seem to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Or not in the
Sorry.
In the regular season. I didn't say that. Reverse it or edit it out, whatever.
Yeah, hold on.
The Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season. The opposite happens in the postseason. The Bills will win this game.
I agree with you. I think Buffalo at home.
Buffalo against Kansas City. It seems like they've had every time. They lost 4 times in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Lost 4 times to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I got Buffalo winning this at home as well. I just think you're right. In the regular season, Bills have their number, but when it really matters most, Kansas City always comes in clutch. Specifically in Buffalo, I got to ride
this game's in
with
Kansas
Bills
City,
Mafia.
But yeah, it's in Buffalo. So.
Second game of the week, we have the Indianapolis Colts, 3-point favorites on the road to the real name of the stadium, Heinz Field, and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This would so be a game Mike Tomlin just wins.
It would be, right?
This is such a Mike Tomlin win. You know what? I'm going to go with Pittsburgh because it makes no sense. I'm going to go with the Steelers because they're on track to go 9-8. They're 4-3. They just got to finish 500 the rest of the year. But I think they win this game, and I don't know why. I just think
the problem is you picking that. It's gonna actually happen. So then your record's gonna be better than mine because I'm picking the Colts to win this game. Simply because the Pittsburgh's defense is awful.
It is.
And I feel like Jonathan Taylor could have an absolute field day, but you're so right. Pittsburgh could easily win this game.
Mike Tomlin finds a way.
They could hold Daniel Jones to 150 yards passing and Jonathan Taylor to like 20 carries for 52 yards.
Haven't they lost 2 straight games?
Yes.
Because they lost to the Bengals and they lost to the Packers.
Yep. They're due for a win, right? It's the Steelers.
It's Mike Tomlin. It makes
I should have picked Pittsburgh.
They'll probably win like 20-17 or something like that.
I knew I should have picked the Steelers too. Moving on, Broncos at Texans. Texans again, 1.5-point favorites at home at NRG Stadium. They are playing better.
This is tough. They had a really good game against the Niners. The problem is the Niners got the defense that the Lions had last year. they have Home Depot workers out there. Denver is not Home Depot workers. Give me Houston. I'll say C.J. Stroud is gonna go. Give me the Texans. I need Stroud to do good so that way the OSU quarterback thing goes away at some point. That quarterbacks don't play well when they go to, from Ohio State in the NFL.
That's fair.
I think the Texans, their defense is very good. And they're
one of the best in the league. In fact, I'm pretty certain Houston actually has the number 1 defense currently in the NFL. I could be wrong.
Denver losing Pat Surtain, I think that's a big loss. So give me Houston at home.
I originally checkmarked Denver. I want to sway Houston, but I'm not going to because I also need to make up more. Give me Denver. I think Denver, honestly, I wouldn't be fully shocked if they actually win the AFC West this season. I'm not saying they will, but the way they're playing right now, even without Pat Surtain, I fully believe Jahdae Barron can go in there and play really, really good too. The fact that they have both of them guys, I think is nuts. With an already good defense. Give me Denver. I trust them more right now than I trust Houston. If Houston wins this game, I think it could sway my opinion on Houston because they're playing good ball the last couple weeks.
Yes.
They've had some good wins. Fourth game on the list, we have the Seattle Seahawks going out to D.C. to take on the Washington Commanders. Seattle, a 3-point favorite on the road. Jaden Daniels back in practice. Sounds like he's probably going to go this weekend.
Washington just doesn't look right. They didn't play horrific against the Chiefs. Like their defense got some takeaways from Mahomes. I'll take Seattle. I think Seattle's just playing better right now. And Jaden Daniels is hurt. I don't think he's going to be as mobile as he can be. So yeah, give me. I'll take Seattle.
Seattle is currently undefeated on the road this season, and they've gone to teams like Pittsburgh and Jacksonville. They've gone across country multiple times this year, and they've gotten the W. I'm going Seattle as well again. I think Seattle has been, for me, the more impressive, one of top 3 most impressive teams for me this season. Simply because to be honest, I didn't think Sam Darnold really had it in him outside of Minnesota, and obviously he does. And I was really shocked with this defense in the way they've played this year. They have thrown me off, honestly. I did not expect this out of their defense. And with Washington having the injury bug and their running game hasn't been really all that great, with Jacoby Krosky-Merritt and Chris Rodriguez Jr. and other guys, it hasn't been fantastic for Washington. I've got Seattle. Fifth game, we've got more than likely the Jacoby Brissett-led Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football going to AT&T Stadium taking on the Dallas Cowboys. 2.5-point favorites.
Ooh, this is nasty.
It's not a fun one to pick, is it?
No, it's not.
That's why it's on here.
Why not?
That's why it's on here, but I don't know why. I'm feeling the Cardinals in this game. It is the least confident I've been in the history of any pick on any show we've ever done.
It is Dallas' defense.
But it is the Dallas defense. I feel like Marvin Harrison could randomly pop off for 180 yards in this game and 3 touchdowns. I don't trust Dallas's defense to save anyone's lives, actually. No. And in fact, if a Dallas defense told you to jump off a bridge, they'd probably jump off the bridge themselves. Yeah. So that's the problem with Dallas, all right? And obviously, the real game of the week, the last pick, is the Max Brosmer-led Minnesota Vikings. Just kidding, because it is J.J. McCarthy back, I think.
That would be something, huh?
At Ford Field against the Detroit Lions. I don't care who's out there. Detroit's winning this game. All right?
Go Lions, fuck J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think there's really. I mean, it's game of the week, but in fact, I'm going to put it out there. It's my lock of the week. Okay, it's my lock of the week. Lions are going to win this. All right, time to address the elephant in the room, right? I think, but before that, I got to get my second sip of this B&B water. Got 59 minutes into the show, almost an hour before we even addressed the real elephant in the room, huh? Newsflash: Brian Kelly's fired. No longer the LSU football coach. 34-14 in his career at LSU. Ended absolutely poor.
It's the funniest thing of all time. His opening, not press conference, but his introduction to when he was at the basketball game. And he's like, I brought my family from Notre Dame, and I just want to say, go Tigers.
It's a great day to be a Tiger. That's when we should have known. And here's the thing. I want to talk about this about Brian Kelly first.
Stupid.
I want to talk about this. Notre Dame people warned everybody about Brian Kelly. And here's the thing. Brian Kelly put out this facade at Notre Dame that he felt like he was being held back because of, the fact that it's hard to get into Notre Dame, like academically. Financially, because of the new modern world of college football, they weren't going to be able to recruit as well. And so he felt like he could go down south and enjoy a nice southern home and basically do exactly what he was doing at Notre Dame anyway, which he himself was the one who was really holding Notre Dame back. I think we can tell that now. I think that's the truth. And the truth is with Brian Kelly is he's a great politician who happens to be a college football coach. I'm saying he's a politicking kind of guy.
Well, he was also full of himself. I mean, he was out there saying, you guys are spoiled for the amount that we won an SEC game at home, and you all are acting like we lost. We won by double digits against Florida, 20-10, and y'all are acting like we lost. I mean, you guys are spoiled. Like, shut up, dude. It's LSU. It's a big-time program. I don't care. Your team didn't play amazing, is what you can say, but your team got the win. He just was never a fit there, and it's something that to be said about the SEC. There's certain fits for different programs.
Yeah.
And Brian Kelly never fit LSU.
He never fit LSU, and I think a lot of it was more about the fact that the LSU job, I don't know about you, and I know what I think about the LSU job, and I know what a lot of other people think about the LSU job.
In college football, 100%.
I think it's a top 3 job.
Well, openings right now, yes. It's number 1.
It's number 1, and it's not close.
Yes.
Florida,
you got to throw Florida in there, but LSU, it's Death Valley. I mean, you had the governor of Louisiana coming out here and saying, I'm not going to let my AD hire.
Well, you also got
a head coach.
You know who Scott Woodward is, right? Scott Woodward hired Jimbo Fisher at A&M. Yes. And he hired Brian Kelly at LSU, the two biggest buyouts in the history of college football with coach firings.
Of the state, why are you talking about football?
It's in their laws. It's in their laws. If the athletic director,
it just means
more.
It means more in the Southeastern Conference. But yeah, when you got the governor come out saying, "Yeah, I'm not letting that happen," that is crazy. And talking about the buyouts and how they're going to pay Brian Kelly. Will Brian Kelly get another job?
Yes,
I don't know.
He has to. He has to at least try to get another job in his contract.
So at the end of the day, you're getting, was it $53 million? I
think it's a $54 million buyout. That's what the rumors are. To be fair, it almost sounds like LSU's still trying to work with Brian Kelly on the full deal. It's not fully set in stone what it's going to be.
Yeah, to me, if he's going to go for a job, I think Michigan State would be a fit, but
Penn State would be a fit in reality too.
He's full of himself, and I don't know if he really has it anymore. I mean, he almost got Bryce Underwood, but Bryce Underwood went to Michigan. I know that Ohio State and Oregon will be poaching LSU commits like crazy right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something to be said that Brian Kelly was in. He just wasn't a fit at LSU, and bring back Coach O.
Bring back Coach O. That's fair. Before we get into more about this, I do want to talk about A&M though. Before we get more into the Brian Kelly and the whole coaching thing.
Oh yeah,
A&M.
I'm going to reveal it now. My second favorite team for the rest of the season will be Texas A&M. I have a lot of family that lives in Sugar Land, Texas, which is right next to Houston. And they are all massive Aggie fans. And they've told me they've gone to Kyle Field tons of times. They've gone to Texas A&M. They've studied there, done all that stuff. They've been Aggies fans for a long time. And they cheered for Ohio State when they were going on and made the playoffs. So I feel like I got to do the same this year because what an absolutely massive win for the Aggies. That was such a cool – seeing them do the Warheim where they were going like this at Death Valley, that was cool.
That's
nuts.
I
don't care if it's a cult or what it is. And that was so cool to see because –
I also want to give credit –
band
it was nuts.
Was doing it.
It was nuts. I want to give a lot of credit to ABC in particular with the way they produced this game. I think that had a lot to do with Brian Kelly getting fired, honestly, as early as he did. Because you could see, you just felt it and you've seen it. You just knew That game was the dagger in the heart. You just knew it. But A&M, man, they're for real. And the thing, I warned you a little bit. I didn't know it was going to be like this. I thought it was going to be a slow pace improvement, but they are fully out there. This is a genuine
phenomenal job. He's done a phenomenal job at Texas A&M, and
he would be my coach of the year right now out of any coach.
They have done wonders. Texas A&M has a road win at Notre Dame. Texas A&M has a road win at LSU, and I know LSU is amazing right now, but it's still Death Valley. It's still a Saturday night. They play Missouri in next weekend on the road. We'll see what happens with that. If Bo Prabula is going to be healthy or not. If not, that should
probably not. Yeah, it sounds like Bo Prabula is more than likely out.
Texas A&M, it's so cool to see because they're one of those programs that has been stagnant at 8-4. They have been good, but not great.
They've had the hype. They've had that hype, and they've never lived up to it.
Couldn't get over the head. They couldn't get over the edge. That they were the SEC version of Penn State, and I know LSU was 20th ranked, and they weren't like this amazing team, but they were still good. You know, they still got expectations. Garrett Nussmeier, as weird as he's playing right now, he still could have a really good game. That win put them over the edge. That win catapulted them, and it's going to their confidence is sky high, and they got at Missouri, which I don't think will be as hard anywhere close as hard now. They don't have Bo Prabula, and they got at Texas at the end of the year. In Texas, they don't look. I mean, they're winning, but they don't look great.
Texas A&M. Texas A&M feels like they should be in Atlanta. They should make it to Atlanta.
This is the year. This is the year Texas A&M pulls through. I got a feeling, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy for my family in Texas who are massive Aggies fans. It was really cool to go down there. I got to walk Texas A&M when I was a kid down there with them. It's really cool to see for them, and I'm happy for Texas A&M fans because they've been wanting something for a long time. They haven't gotten it since Johnny Manziel, and even then, they didn't really get close to the national championship with Johnny Manziel because they always had 2 or 3 losses.
Right.
This time with Marcel Reed, and this time with this defense, who stepped up in just an amazing defensive performance in the second half. Absolutely amazing performance.
Special teams showed out too.
Mike Elko has done an incredible job at Texas A&M. I'll be honest, I wasn't a major fan of the hire, seeing as he brought Duke to relevance, but Duke wasn't amazing with Riley Leonard. But they were like 7-5, 8-4, which that's what they're on track now. But it doesn't matter. He went to Texas A&M, and I think they went 8-4 last year. Surprise. But this is the year. This is the year. And don't lose 4 straight games. For the love of God, don't lose 4 straight games.
Don't do it, A&M. Please don't.
Dude, I would be so mad. I told my cousin, I said, if Ohio State and Texas A&M play in the national championship, we're going to go. And he's down. We thought tickets to Miami and everything. If they both make it, we're going to go. And I hope it happens because that'd be awesome. But,
that would be nuts. And it would be so fun because, Texas A&M, on paper, I would fully say they're the most overrated program in the history of college football because they've never, ever been to a title, let alone win one. But they have a chance. It feels like the hype that's been around them for a long time, they never lived up to it. I liked that it kind of shut down the last 2 years with Elko. And Elko hasn't necessarily, everyone knows A&M and the money. They had that situation with Jimbo Fisher and when Ross Bjork was their athletic director, but really Scott Woodward was the one who hired him in. But that's kind of what it was. It was all about trying to recruit but not really build and throw out money at everywhere. But the problem was all these guys weren't really getting their money anyway to begin with. There was a lot of issues internally with the program, and it kind of felt like Jimbo Fisher didn't really take the job seriously. Elko's an A&M kind of guy.
Yeah.
He gets it. He fully gets it.
I think that's his job. Unless an NFL team comes calling, and maybe it just seems like he's where he needs to be.
Yes.
At Texas A&M. And this season, no matter how it ends, unless it ends with 4 straight losses, is going to expedite this recruiting class. It's going to expedite this transfer portal, and they got a ton of oil money down there at Texas A&M. They got a lot of oil money, and it's great for them because I'm glad they finally got over them. They did what Penn State could never do. They won a big game. They finally did it, and now Elko. I hope they win the SEC. I think they do. I think it'll be them versus Alabama.
Yes. It feels like it should be them versus
Alabama.
Alabama.
Phenomenal SEC title game. But it's going to be close. I still don't think Missouri's a pushover, even without Bo Pribula. And at Texas, it's at night. That's still going to be a good game. But man, if they go 12-0 and they make the SEC and they win, if they go to the SEC title game, dude, I don't care what you say. I think 80% of that stadium will be A&M fans.
Could be.
They will pack the hell out of Mercedes-Benz. They will buy out Alabama fans. They don't care. Alabama goes every other year.
Right.
It's nothing to them. It'll be the same with Indiana when they go to the Big Ten title game this year. They will pack that stadium out. It's also in Indianapolis. A&M fans will buy the hell out of that, and that's cool for them.
I'm here for an A&M, Indiana, Vanderbilt, and BYU Final Four, or Texas Tech, one or the other, or Georgia Tech.
No, I'm still not going to cheer for it. I'm still not going to go against Ohio State.
That's fair, but the people
want it. If OSU were to get knocked out, then why not? Just bring the most chaos, at this point.
Absolutely.
Just don't lose to Indiana. You can lose to the other teams. I can't handle losing to Indiana. Because then I would have to take back so much stuff.
Every single thing about Indiana you've ever said in your life.
Yeah. At least if we lost to like A&M, I could be happy for my cousins and stuff. Like, hey, fine, like, congrats, go win it. We won it last year, you win it this year. If Indiana beats us, oh boy. It's going to be bad.
I want to get back on this LSU coaching talk real quick. Everyone keeps throwing Lane Kiffin's name out there, right?
He's going to Florida.
And the thing is, I'll tell you this. If he does leave Ole Miss, I also believe that. I believe it would be for Florida. Because, one, he's got the family ties down to Florida. He's from Florida. He's already coached in the state of Florida, and he understands what it is like to be there. Yeah. And, I'm pretty certain his wife's also from Florida as well. I think everything about their family is all based out of Florida. But two, I feel like it would just matter more. Like at LSU, you've had 3 straight head coaches win a national title outside of Brian Kelly. You had Ed O, you had Les Miles, you had Nick Saban. They all won a title, and the expectation is national championships there. At Florida, you have the same expectations, but I feel like it would just matter more. I feel like if he would somehow do it at Florida, he'd have statues. Like at LSU, I don't think he would. I think he'd just be another coach who's won another title. Florida, they haven't had it in a minute. They haven't had that success since Urban Meyer's left. Yeah. They had a little taste of what it could possibly be with Dan Mullen, but they never really got over the hump with Dan Mullen. I feel like with Lane Kiffin at Florida, it would make a lot more sense than LSU. And I don't think LSU calls Lane Kiffin. I really don't. I have other names, and I'll give you my list. I have a top 5 list of who I think will be the head coach. At number 5, Clark Lee, the Vanderbilt head coach. Yeah. I think Clark Lee would make a lot of sense with the fact of what he's done at Vanderbilt's James, the last one who did it was James Franklin.
Yeah, he's going to have a statue. It's like Kurt Signetti.
I feel like Clark Lee's going to get a big-time job phone call that he just can't turn down. I feel like LSU could be one of them. He's got to be one of their top 5, I think. At number 4, it's a name you haven't heard in a minute. But he's got the history with LSU and their former offensive coordinator, and a guy who could make that coordinator to head coach jump. Joe Brady. I think Joe Brady would be one of their guys to call.
Depending on the money, yeah. Because, I mean, he's the OC for the Bills, and he's got Josh Allen. But if LSU offers him the bag, that would certainly be interesting. He doesn't have any head coaching experience, but I think it'd be interesting. That would be a good hire because he's essentially the one that made Joe Burrow into who he is.
Yeah.
He's great with quarterbacks. Yeah, I could see that.
Number 3, it's another coordinator, another hot name. I'm going with the Oregon offensive coordinator and Will Stein. And the reason why is I feel like really when it comes to this LSU coaching job, the last time they went big, they swung big, they got Brian Kelly. I don't know if they want to necessarily swing big. There's a lot of young coaches out there who have the potential to be like really good head coaches. I do think LSU, of course, still puts out those feeler calls to Nick Saban if he can come back, or a feeler call to Marcus Freeman up at Notre Dame, or a Dan Lanning at Oregon. But I feel like his coordinator, Will Stein, he's one of the hotter names currently to make that next coordinator to head coach jump. I feel like Will Stein's going to be on that list. Number 2 is a guy who I fully believe is probably one of their finalists. The Tulane head coach, and John Summerall.
Yep.
A guy who gets it.
100%.
A guy who wins. Tulane is one of the top 3 Group 5 programs.
They could easily make the playoff this year.
They could. They could end up being that team. 100% could. I think John Summerall's number 2. And 1, this could be projection, and possibly who I feel like will be their head coach. I fully believe this guy is going to be a head coach at either one, the LSU or the Florida job, and that's Eli Drinkwitz. I think Eli Drinkwitz is going to leave Missouri. I think he's one of the better young minds in college football right now. He has that SEC history. He's from the South. He went to college in Arkansas. He's from that area. I think Eli Drinkwitz is got to be the top of the list.
Yeah, I have one that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, but it's a 2-for-1 package, so I think that would be something to watch out for. But my first call would be Dan Lanning, 100%. And I don't think he would leave Oregon, but Dan Lanning has SEC ties. He was the DC at Georgia. LSU has all the money in the world. I know Oregon, Nike. But you could try to pry him from Oregon. Maybe it would work. I don't think he would leave Oregon. But at the end of the day, I do think LSU as a whole is a better job than Oregon. But
I agree with that too.
Not by much. Oregon is still a fantastic program. But one that I don't think people are talking about a lot, and I'm going to skip the stats because this dude, I love this dude. And nobody's talking about this team. This guy is an offensive mastermind. This dude has great offenses. Top 6 nationally the past 2 years. This guy's quarterback is a freshman, and he's playing out of his mind. And he just had 600 passing yards the other game.
Oh.
I am talking about Eric Morris.
Yes.
Eric Morris is the head coach at North Texas.
I like that.
Texas SEC. You're not only getting Eric Morris, you're getting Drew Mestemaker. Drew Mestemaker has 21 touchdowns and 4 picks. He's thrown for around 2,500 yards. He has been phenomenal for the Mean Green, and their offense has just been on a juggernaut.
Speaking of a quarterback who never played high school ball, never started at the high school level, it's crazy what he's doing at North Texas right now.
Yeah,
he's
a freshman. And obviously Garrett Nussmeier is going to be leaving this year.
Yep.
So this would be something to watch out for. I think Eric Morris is going to get a job no matter what, because North Texas is another one of those teams that could make the playoffs. I mean, they're 7-1. They play Navy coming up. They have a really good shot. And their offense is really damn good. And Messmacher, no matter what, he's leaving after this year. Some team's going to offer him an NIL package. And but if Morris goes to LSU, he's bringing his quarterback with him, 100%.
I agree with you there. I think that would be – no one's talked about that, but I like where you're at. I like where you're at, and I like your thinking. I think my dark horse is more of a known name, but one that I feel like would have much more success. Like it's like, look what he's done at all these other programs. I can only imagine what he would do at LSU. I'm talking Jeff Brom from Louisville. Now, I know that he's a Louisville guy through and through. What he did at Purdue, I mean, no one else will ever do at Purdue in the history of Purdue football, or the future of Purdue football ever again.
Yeah.
Unless they somehow pull a Kurt Signetti at Indiana. But what he's done at Louisville, like no one else really does this. Louisville's had decent teams in the past. They've had good quality quarterback play. But like the consistency that Louisville is, one of the top ACC teams in the conference, I feel like Jeff Brom going to Louisville and going to LSU and having all those resources to his disposal, I feel like Jeff Brom would completely succeed at the LSU job.
I don't think he's going to leave Louisville, but I think, like I said, if anybody offers you like top money, like $12 million, like LSU is going to offer, I mean, I wouldn't say no, because it's a lot of money. You're going to have a lot of resources at LSU, and why not? But Jeff Brom is a really good head coach. He made Purdue relevant. Took him to a Big Ten title game. I mean, yeah, why not? But he's got a great thing going on in Louisville right now.
Yeah, he does. He does for sure. But no one has anything better going for him right now than Mark Gronowski and the Iowa Hawkeyes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He hasn't even thrown 1,000 yards this season. He has 4 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions. However, he's playing better football right now, okay?
How? Like, their offense is playing pretty well. How do you only have 4 touchdowns?
He has 4 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions on the season. But Mark Gronowski is looking better.
Can we get
I don't care.
Touchdown passes this year? Actually, it's what? We're like 7, 8 games in. Can we get to 10? Can we get to 10 touchdown passes this year?
If we can get to 10, I think Mark Gronowski's the best quarterback I've ever seen touch a football field. Okay? That's what I got to say.
Watch them beat Oregon next weekend.
They could. Yeah. I got a bone to pick with the AP top 25. I don't understand how Iowa or Washington aren't ranked. I really don't. Comparative to some of these other teams and their resumes.
Yeah.
They're pretty comparable or better than some of these other teams at that same range, down in the top 20 to 25.
Iowa hasn't really beaten anybody, and
it's not true. Washington, they almost beat Indiana.
Washington, I agree, but they didn't win. They lost.
They didn't win, but it's a quality loss, right? If we're going to have this argument for other teams, it's a quality loss.
Yes, but with Washington,
it's a very quality loss.
And Washington played OSU and Michigan. They got blown out in both games, but they're still playing very well. They had a good win against Illinois. Throw them at 25, throw them at 24 or something like that. Why not?
If the BNB poll went to 25, I would say that Washington and Iowa would both be in there. Since we're at it real quick, let's get to the BNB poll. We've already released it. It's out there for you to see. Had some difficulties here with this BNB poll this week.
I was forced to take a team out.
You can go through your rankings. We'll get through the rankings first.
I'm gonna real quickly because I know, but like Texas is beating Navy. I don't want.
Texas is not beating Navy. No,
Navy's not gonna beat Notre Dame. I love our Naval Academy. Shout out everybody in our Naval Academy. But no, you would not beat Texas. And I know, I don't like the SEC either, but I'm also Texas would beat Navy. That's all I got to say.
Texas would beat Navy more than likely, but here's the thing. I don't know what Texas has done.
They blew out Oklahoma. It was a top 10 It was a top 10 win.
They blew out Oklahoma with John Mateer basically throwing with no hand. It was like if Shaquem Griffin was quarterback.
We both picked. Did we? Oh no, I think we did pick Texas. I can't remember who we picked. But anyway, they were still 6th ranked at the time. Oklahoma is still ranked, I believe. I think.
somehow.
They're still good.
They are good.
It's the quality loss. Remember, they lost to Ohio State by 7.
Yeah, they did have a quality loss, but they also have gone to overtime in back-to-back weeks with Kentucky and Mississippi State, who Mississippi State was up by 17 points. Honestly, Mississippi State's a lot better than they were last year. We'll give them that credit. Blake Shapen, it's a different Mississippi State team. I just don't understand how Texas can still be ranked, period, in the top 25. Outside of preseason, thoughts and of what they are, I think other teams have just been better that deserve to be ranked higher. It's not necessarily like, of course, I think Navy would legitimately lose to Texas. I also think that Washington, if they played Texas right now, would win. I think some of these other teams with what they've done this year have proven to be better. I'm not saying that they are better, and you would have to play each other. I just don't see how Texas.
We'll see when they play Georgia in a few weeks. That'll put everything to rest, or it'll upstart their season again. But they'll probably lose. Number 19, a team that nobody's talking about, Houston. Houston's playing very well, and their one loss they did get kicked in by Texas Tech. But Houston's 7-1, and they're another one of those teams where if they just keep winning, they have a shot to win the Big 12.
So. Legit, yeah. No, legit. Connor Wegman has been very impressive. What Willie Fritz has done at Houston has been nuts. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if his name's thrown around in some other bigger jobs.
More oil money. Number 18, U of M. Michigan didn't play great against Michigan State. The first half was abysmal. But they pulled away in the second half and played better. Michigan State's just terrible. They have a ghost at head coach, and
yes,
I don't know why he's still hired there. They need to fire him like yesterday. Jonathan Smith is not made for that job. Number 17, Louisville. We talked about it with Braum. Miller Moss is having a very good year with the Louisville Cardinals, and they are another one. The ACC is pretty wide open. Georgia Tech is at the top. Shout out America's team, by the way. And then Virginia's up there. You got Miami. You got Louisville.
Watch out for this team in the ACC. No one is talking about them, but for some reason they're just lurking. They just beat the Mustangs in SMU this weekend. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They've come out of nowhere.
And they were so close to beating Georgia Tech. They should have beat Georgia Tech.
Yes.
But Tech came back and won that game in overtime. Number 16, Tennessee. The Volunteers are still a good team. They are not a great team, seeing as they lost only 2 games that they played anybody worth a damn. But Tennessee's still a really good team. Josh Heupel. I have no problem with them being at 16.
We'll see this weekend for sure.
Number 15, Virginia. One of the biggest surprises of the year, in my opinion. Chad Morris? Their quarterback.
Chandler Morris. Former North Texas Mean Green quarterback, unironically.
Yeah. Virginia's playing really well, and they're on track to make the ACC title game. So watch out for the Cavaliers come playoff time, maybe. Number 14, the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Another surpriser.
Yeah, they've really ascended this year. Brendan Sorsby's played really well. Their defense has been playing very well. They're on track to make the Big 12 title game. Their only loss came the first game of the year to Nebraska and Kansas City, and it was a tough game, but they lost. But Cincinnati's been playing really well. Got a big game this weekend at Utah. That'll be a really fun matchup to watch. But yeah, good for the Bearcats. Number 13, Notre Dame. Notre Dame will make the playoffs. They don't deserve it, but they'll get it because there's not a whole lot more great teams. It's just like, what have they done? They haven't done anything. The 2 games that they played that are worth a damn, they lost.
Yes.
They played Miami, they lost. They played Texas A&M, they lost. Oh, but USC. USC is a good team. They are not like on the level of Texas A&M or Miami. I don't know about that one, but Miami's better than USC. Number 12, Texas Tech. Red Raiders, I still think make the Big 12 title game. I still think they win the Big 12. I think they are the best team in the Big 12, and they should make the playoff. And number 11, Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's such an infuriating football team.
They irritate me because I feel like they should be ranked higher no matter what, but the problem is they have that loss to Louisville, and then it just feels like, I don't know. I think this weekend against SMU will tell me a lot about Miami. They're kind of in limbo for me. I don't know what to think, which is pretty typical of Miami, late October, early November. 100%. For the record, I was willing to fight to death to not have Texas in this, by the way. I was willing to duel it out. I was willing to do whatever it took. I was willing to pay Spencer any ounce of my money. If they beat Vandy, they will be in the BNB poll next week. And all you Texas fans out there who may be hating this right now, it's fair. Hate it. But
I mean, yeah,
I feel like
they're playing great, but they're still a good team.
They're a good. I'm not saying they aren't a good team. I'm just saying I just don't understand how they can be in the top 20 in any rankings.
Who would you put in over Texas right now?
I would put Washington in over Texas. I would put in one of these Group of 5 schools, Navy.
Washington played 2 teams and lost both games.
And fun fact, Spencer, I actually have a stat for you.
Okay.
It's not about Texas. It actually has nothing to do with really a lot. But there's only 5 teams in the nation who have at least 4 wins versus FBS opponents that currently have a winning record. You're going to actually enjoy this stat because you want to know
Ohio State's one of them.
Ohio State and Indiana are the only 2 schools with 5.
Yeah. I was going to say OSU and Indiana. I saw that stat, yeah.
Alabama, Michigan, and BYU are the other 3. So this whole argument about the SEC and how great their schedule is. Wow. South Carolina has really let down. They went 3-5. Oh, look, Alabama almost became a victim of Cocktober yet again.
It's okay, but the SEC is an overall is a better conference right now than the Big Ten.
It is 100%.
I will argue the Big
100%.
Ten has better teams. Ohio State
Yes.
and Indiana and Oregon, I would throw in there. They are better than. It'd be close with Alabama. I would pick probably all 3 of those to beat Alabama. The only one I'd be
agree.
about is Indiana, but
It's because it's Indiana.
yeah.
I think right now, I don't know. I just,
to be honest,
we'll keep seeing it with
championship. I'm gonna be legit. I won't think it's like Vanderbilt. I love Vanderbilt.
It's fair.
I'm not picking them to win the national championship.
What if
until they do it?
What if we get there? All right.
Oh, if they do it, I will be supporting Commodore's gear like it's going out of style.
Indiana Vanderbilt title. Indiana Vanderbilt title is what we're here for.
That would be ESPN's worst nightmare.
It would. Oh, they would hate it.
They'd be like, "Where's the big brand?" I'm just so used to big brands, though. That's the main.
That's what we are as college football people.
Yeah.
Like when TCU made the title, it was like, huh?
It was weird, and then they got their ass kicked.
Yes.
But no, the SEC is a better conference overall.
It fully is.
The Big Ten. I mean, Purdue is terrible.
Yeah. The SEC's like 7 through 13 teams are better than the Big Ten's 7 through 13. That's pretty clear. The top 3, I think every single top 3 Big Ten team that you said, I think would go in the SEC right now and beat everybody, mostly, for the most part, with the exception of maybe a Georgia or Bama. Maybe
it would be close. Indiana and Oregon against Alabama and Georgia, intertwining would be very close. I would be confident in Ohio State to beat Alabama. I'd be confident in Ohio State to beat Georgia.
Yeah. Let's quickly get through the top 10 here. Number 10, Georgia Tech. I have them falling down 2 spots. Only because I think we had some other impressive wins over the weekend that moved some other teams up. It's not necessarily that they should have been pushed down. I just think some other teams helped push some other teams up.
Yeah.
And that's why BYU's staying at number 9 as well.
Yeah,
they did not move.
I was wrong about them. Good for the Cougars. And
we are in for a treat.
Head coach is not talked about at all.
Kalani Sitake?
Kalani Sitake is not going to leave BYU. That's just his job. But, man, he's done a wonderful job there in Provo. And they look like, I mean, if I had to pick, I would pick Texas Tech versus BYU in the Big 12 title game currently. I don't know how the standings and all that. I know BYU is undefeated.
The problem is with the Big 12. The Big 12, we have so many teams who could legitimately still make the Big 12 championship yet again. We will see Texas Tech BYU next week in Lubbock. So that is going to be a very fun game next week.
I do have a hot take. I think the Big 12 will have more playoff teams than the Big 10.
I don't know about that.
I got 3 out of the Big 10.
You think there's going to be more Big 12 teams than the Big 10?
BYU, Texas Tech. I think Cincinnati's playing a phenomenal game right now. And, see what happens. I know Utah is up there, but they could maybe make a late run.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know about Utah. I think Utah's kind of hit or miss. I don't know about more than the Big 10. I think that's kind of shaking it. I think the Big 12 could easily get 2 teams. I think they could easily get 2. Maybe a third. It just depends. They're all going to kind of do what the SEC does and implode on each other kind of thing. That's my only issue with the Big 12. I feel like you could get a Texas Tech and BYU. Say Texas.
Cincinnati, if they keep winning. If they
keep winning,
Utah, if Cincinnati keeps winning, they deserve it.
If they're a one-loss team at the end of the year, they would be in the Big 12 championship. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to predict this, and the Big 12 is the hardest conference to even predict. Period, because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really don't with the Big 12. I feel like we could get 2. I'm not going to push it for 3 or more.
They're 4-1. I mean, they're 22nd in the AP poll. They keep winning. I mean, it just depends on these teams keep winning, but I think that unless Michigan beats Ohio State, there will be 3 Big 10 teams.
That's
if Michigan
fair.
wins out and beats Ohio State, absolutely they'll be in. And OSU will be in, Oregon will be in, Indiana will be in.
That's fair. I'm going to quickly try and get through the remaining 8 here. Oregon at number 8, they drop 2 spots only because I feel like the way they've played good ball. The problem is their 1 game, well, I guess 2 games. They did beat Penn State on the road before everything happened with Penn State. They're the reason they crumbled. But they did lose to Indiana at home. They haven't had a lot of big quality games yet. To be fair, you can make the argument that's because the Big Ten's been mediocre pretty much through the mid-tier of the teams compared to the SEC. So I do have a little bit of questions with Oregon still that I haven't really gotten fully answered. And I feel like some other teams have answered more questions for me. Yeah. Number 7, the Vanderbilt Commodores. They keep winning, man. They keep winning. Granted, this is a big weekend for Texas. They have to beat Vandy at home. This is a massive get-right game for Texas this weekend.
I'm saying that 3 years ago. It's a get-right game for Texas to beat Vanderbilt.
But it's right, bro. Vandy could lose one more game in the regular season, and they could still make the playoff. We're at that part of that's where we're at.
They do still go to Tennessee.
They do.
They have
to end the
win
season.
One of the 2 games, at Texas or at Tennessee. They lose both those games, they're not making it. But if they win one, absolutely.
Number 6. Yeah, shout out Vandy, man. Number 6, big win this weekend for the Ole Miss Rebels. They move up to number 6.
Yeah.
What they've done this year is the exact reason why Lane Kiffin is the top of every coaching board right now with all these head coaching openings.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is for real. That offense is nasty. Their defense still leaves a little to be desired. Even a banged up Oklahoma did some numbers on that defense. I have some concerns about that defense right now, but this offense is nasty with Trinidad. Trinidad Chambliss. I like what I'm seeing out of Ole Miss a lot. Number 5 is Georgia, staying packed. Number 4, did I say number 4? I meant number 5. Number 5 is Georgia.
Yeah.
Number 4, Alabama drops a spot. You almost lost to South Carolina.
South Carolina, man.
South Carolina does this every time.
Stupid.
Why does South Carolina have like the biggest gauntlet schedule ever out of any SEC team? You notice that?
They deserve it. They deserve this BS after what they've pulled off. Stupid. They should have won that damn game.
Is Shane Beamer?
Norris Sellers, I hope transfers and goes to an actual school this offseason.
Is Shane Beamer gone?
Yes.
Not fired. I think he might just leave on his own.
It's done. This was the year they had expectations after last year. They went like 9-3 or something like that. They had a really good year. They beat Clemson on the road. They just nothing went their way this year.
No.
And they got Sellers got hurt, but at the same time, it's like the defense wasn't. I mean, the defense played pretty well against Alabama. They just it's like the last 10 minutes they did nothing. After they scored to go up 22-14, I said, "Oh crap, is this actually going to happen?" And I'm like, "No, it's not going to happen." And then they went down and all that stuff happened, and Alabama ended up winning the game. So, no, he's gone.
Number 3, the A&M, Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Aggies. Move up one spot to number 3, and I mean they are legit. Blowing out LSU, ending the Brian Kelly era. They're nasty. And Mike Elko, for me, I said this earlier in the show, he has to be my lead for Coach of the Year.
He's certainly up there, yeah.
He has to be. Number 2, Indiana, blowing out UCLA, albeit a hot UCLA team who won 3 straight going into it.
Yep.
And that's why Indiana's a good team, because they're steamrolling teams. That's what you do when you're a good team. You steamroll them. And the number 1 team is still Ohio State until proven otherwise on a football field, or if another team just is that good all the time. Actually, no, it's just until they're proven otherwise.
Dude,
Ohio State's number 1.
I hope there's nothing more I want than an OSU-Indiana Big Ten title game, because it is the biggest risk reward for me, because if they win, everything I said is right. Like, Indiana is all this and all that, but they can't. OSU's big brother. They haven't beaten Ohio State in 40-plus years. But if Indiana wins, man, I got a lot to say.
What if it's a close game? Like, what if it's like a 27-24 final?
I will say it's a great game, but 41 years, or whatever the hell it is now. I mean, they haven't beaten Ohio State since, like, Lee Corso.
I'm pretty certain it's the longest active streak in college football with between one opponent. Indiana and Ohio State.
I believe it.
I'm pretty certain it's like
40-plus years. I know that. I just don't know.
You're right. I'm pretty certain Lee Corso was the coach when they won, too. It was in like 1981, I think. It was 1981.
Probably. So then 44 years. Plus, I think that would be a great matchup. It'd be 1 versus 2. And then in the SEC, you could have 3 versus 4 with Texas A&M versus Alabama. That would be an amazing weekend.
Cinema.
It would be cinema, and I hope it happens.
Absolute cinema. Let's get through these weekly picks here to wrap up this show. A long one. But you guys are still here, and while you are still here at the 1 hour and 44-minute mark, you guys should subscribe to the channel. Should hit the push notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos. You should comment down below. Was I right? Did Texas deserve to not be ranked in the B&B Bowl? You should like the video if I'm right, and you should like the video if Spencer was right. You should comment down below if I was right. You know, we sometimes have to have these rivalries, you know? Sometimes he wins, sometimes I win. That's just a matter of the sport, you know? That's okay.
Ohio State versus Indiana. Let me know in the comments below your favorite memory from 1981.
I could tell you mine. Mine was probably the fact that cassettes were fire. Listening to cassettes.
The Tigers were 3 years away from the World Series.
Yeah, they were. They were. The Browns were probably pretty relevant at football in the 80s. Oh, yeah, we know about that a little too much. Anyway, let's get in these college football picks, man. The first game, and of course, we've already talked too much about the Texas Longhorns on this episode. The 9th-ranked Vanderbilt Commodores on the road down to DKR in Austin, Texas, taking on the Texas Longhorns and the more than likely Matthew Caldwell-led Texas Longhorns, I might add. Arch Manning's in concussion protocol.
Yeah. If Arch Manning was playing this game, I was going to pick Texas. But man, Vanderbilt's just playing with a ton of confidence right now. You know what? For no reason at all, and I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling. I think Texas wins this game. And I love Vandy. I picked against them the past few weeks. I don't know. I think Texas is like so on fire right now. Like everything's burning, and they need something. And I think this is a game Texas would win. For no reason at all, I'm picking the Longhorns.
I had a massive debacle trying to make this pick because Vanderbilt has gone out there and has completely lost the box score completely. You look at that Missouri game blindly. Don't look at the score. Just look at stats. Look at the stats. Vanderbilt lost that game in every single way.
Yeah.
But what won them that game was the way they played in the red zone.
Yep.
What won them that game?
And they stopped Missouri at the 1 yard line.
Exactly.
Goal. That was the big momentum shift.
And to me, that's a storytelling win on how you are as a team. You can win even when you really lose, which has never happened in the history of Vanderbilt football until last weekend. In a way, I feel like you're right. This is a massive game for Texas for this season to try and salvage it. Even with Matthew Caldwell out there as quarterback, Texas, I think, is going to give them their all. And Vanderbilt, I think, is coming to play serious. I have questions about Vanderbilt's defensive backfield against Texas's wide receivers. It just depends if Texas can actually throw the ball, if Caldwell can be accurate. From all like everything I've heard, it sounds like Caldwell's going to get the go this weekend because of Manning being in concussion protocol. I don't know who to pick. I'm not going to lie. I've gone back and forth. The second most out of any of the other picks outside of the one NFL game. I'm going Vandy. But I'll eat the crow. I'll eat the crow if Texas does win. And Texas might be the number 1 team in the B&B poll next week. Just because of it.
Yeah, I just backed Texas to be 20. I feel like I got to pick them. Even though I love Vanderbilt. But let's call him. Diego Pavi is a fun story, and he's been playing great for Vandy. Let's calm down with the Heisman stuff. He's not.
Oh, no. He's definitely not winning Heisman.
He's not winning the Heisman. He didn't have a great game against Missouri. He made some plays. Their defense won him that game. Don't get it twisted. But yeah.
Second game, another good SEC showdown at Neyland Stadium. 18th, Oklahoma taking on the 14th ranked Tennessee Volunteers. A battle of awful defensive play. To be fair, Oklahoma's defensive line I trust more than almost any defensive line in the country. Their secondary got exploited against the Rebels.
Yeah. Josh Heupel revenge game. Give me Tennessee.
I agree. I don't trust Oklahoma at all.
Mateer don't look right. Mateer had a lot of missed throws last week against Ole Miss. That injury.
He's playing through. He is 100% playing through that injury.
100%, and it's hurting his team. Simple as that. And Oklahoma, oh my lord, their schedule is so rough these next few
This
weeks.
might be the easiest game they have the rest of the season.
Yeah, and it's at what is it, 15 or 16 Tennessee, whatever they are. Yeah, this is rough. But give me, I'll go Rocky Top.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Rocky Top through and through in this game. If it was at Oklahoma, I might lean Oklahoma. But even then, I still have question marks because you're right. Mateer is playing through the injury.
Right.
And the fact that they finally played like a for real offensive juggernaut, specifically in the passing game, their secondary got exploited a lot against Ole Miss. the thing, Tennessee is one of the better passing offenses. Actually, they're a better passing offense than the Rebels statistically this season, which I think if this game becomes a shootout, I don't trust Oklahoma's offense to keep up with Tennessee's.
Yeah.
Although Tennessee's defense, one of the worst in the country. Statistically, run game, awful. They give up a lot of plays. I just feel like Tennessee, because of the fact that Oklahoma and John Mateer's playing through an injury, and I just don't trust Oklahoma's offense. I think Tennessee's just got a much better chance.
Yeah.
Third game, going to Lincoln, Nebraska, and Dylan Raiola, future Penn State Nittany Lion quarterback, hosting the 23-ranked USC Trojans. USC 6.5-point favorites. Nebraska, slightly big game, coming off of they won this past weekend against Northwestern on the road, but they did lose to Minnesota, who just got blown out by Iowa.
Yeah, USC has numbers next to their name. Give me USC.
USC has numbers next to their name. That's true. Nebraska, when they play ranked teams, is complete.
Nebraska. When they see numbers, they go, ah! It's like Halloween. They don't play.
Yes.
They shiver their timbers.
Yes, I'm picking USC as well. In a weird way, I feel like Nebraska could win this because it's USC out of any of those teams. You know what I mean?
They don't make no sense. They barely beat Northwestern, even though Northwestern ain't doing half bad this year.
They're not. It's weird. Northwestern's one game away from being bowl eligible, which I didn't think was going to happen this year. Shout out Preston Stone. Preston Stone.
SMU legend.
Next game, I think a very sneaky good game. People are just forgetting about Kevin Jennings and Rhett Lashley. The 10th-ranked Miami Hurricanes, 12.5-point favorites, going to Dallas, Texas to take on the Southern Methodist University Mustangs.
Yeah.
This is a trap game for me. I'm not a fan of it if I'm Miami.
I would never bet this game because I don't know what version of Miami I'm going to get. SMU coming off a tough loss to Wake Forest. They were ranked. SMU was feeling really good about themselves. And that was a tough loss on the road. Miami has all the talent in the world to be a top 5 team, and they were for most of the year. And I am going to pick Miami. I think Miami's going to win this game, but it would not surprise me in the least if SMU just obliterated this team. It's something along the lines of, I don't know what Miami I'm going to get, so I'm going to say I'm going to get good Miami. I'm going to say I'm going to get good Miami coming off the bye. Carson Beck isn't going to throw 4 interceptions again, and we're gonna get back on track.
Yeah, this game scares me a lot for Miami. It only scares me because it's like a look-ahead game. It's a trap game. It almost feels like SMU lost to Wake Forest, maybe because they were looking ahead to Miami, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though Wake Forest is actually pretty good this year.
They are. Yeah.
This being in Dallas makes me almost want to pick the upset. I really want to pick this upset and have SMU beat Miami. Sadly, I'm going to have to agree with you, but I will say I think SMU covers the 12.5-point spread.
Yeah. Don't worry, Miami will lose 2 games before the regular season ends.
I'm picking Miami, but SMU covers the 12.5-point spread. I think that's too big of a point spread in this game.
Yeah.
Second to last, we have the Fighting Kenny Dillinghams going up against the Fighting Matt Campbells in Ames, Iowa. Yeah. Arizona State, Iowa State. Iowa State yet again makes our pick graphic.
Sadly. Yeah, the Underachiever Bowl.
The Underachiever Bowl, and one team has lost 3 straight in the Cyclones.
The Big 12 title game last year.
This is the Big 12 title game. It was actually the Big 12 title game last year, but it would be the hypothetical Big 12 title game in the preseason, maybe for some folks.
Not anymore. Yeah. I picked Iowa State last week. Siri, heads or tails? Tails, give me Arizona State. I have no idea. Both these teams underachieved. Arizona State beat them last year, beat them again this year.
Yeah, I'm picking Arizona State as well. Iowa State, they've lost 3 straight. Arizona State has beaten Texas Tech. They've shown in conference play they can go out there and really do it. They also did lose to Houston. But Arizona State showed some promise. They've been without Jordan Tyson, who's going to be a first-round pick this year. Sam Levitt's played decent. I trust the Sun Devils more.
The Big 12 makes no sense.
And then finally, the real game of the weekend, folks. This is the one. Mark your calendars, okay? Because we're going to Denton, Texas. An American showdown. Honestly, any of the top 4 teams in the Americans can still be that group of 6 team to make the playoff. But we got America versus Mean Joe Green. We have Navy at North Texas.
I love me some Mr. Morris, and I love me some Eric Mestemacher. Give me North Texas. I just, praise them, and they're both going to be going to LSU here in a few months. I love our Naval Academy. Shout out to all of our soldiers. But when it comes to big games, the Naval Academy, the Army, or the Air Force does not win big games. It's just can't win big games with the triple option. Doesn't happen. Give me North Texas, and it's in North Texas at Denton. So yeah, Mean Green.
I picked the Mean Green the first time around when they played South Florida in the upset. I was a little premature in my picking them. To be fair, I feel like a lot of teams I pick the first time, they always lose, and then I go against them.
And then they win.
I go against them, and then they win. I'm not going against you again. I'm not doing it, North Texas. I can't do it. I'm following the trends. I need to win games, okay? Give me the Mean Green. They're beating Navy, even though we just ranked them in the B&B poll. That doesn't matter. What happens on the field matters.
They were forced to be put in the B&B poll.
They were not forced. They were put in lovingly.
The committee did not agree with the selections that they made.
The committee... It's not the selections that were made. It was what the model said. The model said that Navy was ahead of Texas, okay? That's what it said. But
the model liked Texas's defense.
But they're losing.
38 points to Midseason.
They're losing to the Mean Green this weekend. North Texas, right at home. Book it. And that's going to wrap up this beautiful episode of the Scoop and Score Football Show. I can only imagine which head coach gets fired this week. Who is it? Will it be Mike Norvell? Will it be, let's see here, Jonathan Smith? Fingers crossed.
Oh, man, what do you mean no?
I heard Jason Candle might be the next LSU head coach according to UT Twitter.
Good.
That's all I've got to say.
Good. You can go. Have fun, LSU.
I don't know. I've got an inkling Jonathan Smith might be the next one to go, but it might not be him. It could be Mike Norvell, like I said. Who knows? But there's got to be another domino that falls, right, this weekend? I mean, it's only happened like every week.
It always does. Who knows? Maybe it's
Maybe it's Hugh Freeze.
Maybe UMass, who hasn't won a game yet, is unhappy with their situation.
Maybe it's Hugh Freeze. Maybe it's...
Oh, yeah, he's gone. He's going to be gone.
Maybe it's Dave Aranda at Baylor. Maybe it's...
He should have been gone by now. I'm surprised they haven't fired him. They are up and down with Aranda, but like...
I think Dave Aranda's a great coach. The problem is it's Baylor. Like, you're going to be very good one year. And
12, like, what, 4 years ago? Something like that?
Yes. They never really got back to it.
They haven't done anything since, and they've been way too hot and cold.
It's fair. Shout out Waco, Texas. And in that, all of our followers in Waco, Texas, you should subscribe to the channel. Hit the push notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos.
You can like and subscribe.
You should also do that. And you know what you should also do? You should tell the B&B poll committee if Texas was really deserving to be ranked or not, since you're Texas residents. Okay? You get to watch them on TV all the time. Yeah.
They are.
I guess we'll see this weekend, right?
Yeah, we will.
Go Vandy. Beat Texas. We will see y'all next week. Take care and peace.
Gig 'em.